Welcome to another episode of Women in Focus. We are in the beautiful Yale town. So Shabnam is our Women in Focus today. You're going to be going into the world of animation, kids, stories, and Shabnam's life. You're most welcome in our program. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me, Sushma.
You know, from a background of finance, and because Wall Street is nothing but money,
Yes.
to a very sensitive field. Was the transition difficult for you?
You know, it was difficult, but it happened over a long period of time. So I feel like I really had the chance to learn about the industry. When we did our first DVD, Babak and Friends, I didn't quit my day job.
Right.
I was doing it nights and weekends. I was flying to LA. I attended all the voice recording sessions,
Right.
learned about character designs and storyboarding and animation and sound and mix and all the production line
Right.
items through that small feature film that we did. And then, you know, the next step was, well, how do we take this to a bigger level?
Yeah.
We competed in a business plan competition at NYU with this idea of teaching kids culture through entertainment.
Right.
Not just for Iranians, but for all cultures.
Right.
And so the idea was we won that competition, and they gave us about $50,000 of seed funding,
Right.
which helped with the business. And then the idea was, why don't we take Babak, our first character, give him friends from other countries,
Right.
and reach a larger audience.
Fantastic.
So of that became Mixed Nuts.
So let's talk a little bit about mixed. I like the name Mixed Nuts
Yeah.
itself. So that means it's kids of different culture that are
Exactly.
Pa-
Yeah, it's kind
participants
of
in
like
it.
the school I grew up in Vienna, where
Yeah.
we had sort of the UN of children.
Yes.
We have Babak, who's from Iran. We have Jay, who's Korean. We have an Indian named Sanjay, who just arrived from India, and he's very Bollywood, and he brings us samosas to lunch, and he takes them out, and he's not afraid to be
Yeah.
who he is.
Right.
We have Damaris from Cuba and Adele from Austria.
Yeah.
And together they're friends in school, and every episode there's a different issue or different problem.
Do you rely on older stories and then bring new twist to them?
Absolutely. That's one of the things we're doing right now with our new series, 1001 Nights.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Alibaba.
Alibaba, of course. Sinbad, Aladdin, they're all very famous characters.
Yes.
When I was a little girl, my dad would read me those stories.
Yes.
And at the end of it, he would say, well, we'll leave another one for tomorrow.
Right.
Of course, in our version, it's a child-friendly family version,
Yeah.
but Shahzad is still our hero, and she comes in and she tells a story, whether it's Sinbad or stories about genies. There's so many stories that have never been animated.
Right.
The famous one that everyone knows is Aladdin that
Yes.
Disney did. But they took bits and pieces from the books and just did a feature film. We are taking advantage of Shahzad the storyteller as a framing of the story.
Wow.
We've introduced the Persian palace where the king resides with the two kids,
Yes.
Donyazad and Shahzaman. And Shahzad the princess tells stories every day to resolve the issues at court.
Right.
So maybe the kids are fighting and she says, you really need to learn how to share,
Yeah.
because Sinbad didn't want to share and it really got him into trouble. You want to know why? Here's a story.
Oh, okay.
And so she goes into a story for every episode. It's been really well received. The show is on Teletoon right now.
Right.
At 11:05 every day, Monday through Friday.
Fantastic.
It's also on CBC Radio Canada for the French-speaking community, and that's on Saturdays and Sunday mornings at 8:45 a.m. We also have it in about 60 other countries.
Wow.
And 15 languages right now. So we're hoping to do a little bit more damage with the show in the next couple of years.
So, looking at the future of animation, where do you see your company going?
Well, one of the things we're working on really hard right now is our own channel, which is oznoz.com. It's
Oh, online,
basically
okay.
bilingual stuff for kids, as you mentioned earlier. We have books and DVDs and dictionaries in 9 languages.
Right.
We also have an on-demand video platform
Okay.
where we are exclusively streaming Sesame Street in 9 languages. So Sesame Street in Mandarin and Korean and Japanese, because we really believe that in North America, in particular, US and Canada, that the population is going to be more and more bilingual or trilingual.
You couldn't be, far from the truth, because we just did a survey, and by 2030, the population of Canada will be 45% people born outside of Canada. Shabnam Rezaei has been our Woman in Focus today. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Everybody get in here! $1,000 nights! It's worth millions!
I wonder why I didn't see it on the map.
Nobody steals from me!
I'm gonna kick his ass.
This means war!
I hear your pies are a big hit.
That wasn't funny.
Oh dear.